Okay, you're about to buy a Rad Power Bike. Here's what I want you to know that I wish someone had told me before I even ordered the bike. Welcome back to Retread, and if you're curious about these electric bikes, then this video is for you. I just got one of these bad boys a couple of weeks ago, and it's amazing. But there are a couple of things I want you to know before you even hit that order button. This video will cover all the stuff that no one tells you when they get theirs, like how to set it up, as well as some tips and tricks. But I want you to watch this before you even hit that order button. So let's dive in. Okay, number one, you can set the bike up yourself as long as you get help taking it out of the box. Seriously, this bike is heavy. This is the Rad Rover 5. It is like 70, 80 pounds. It is super duper heavy. And I struggled to get out of the box. I hurt myself actually. And I got this bike on one of the coldest days in Colorado. It was like -5 degrees outside or something crazy like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to bring this down to the basement, set this up, record it so it's not in my dirty garage, and be a little bit warmer, frankly. And I was incredibly impressed with how easy the bike was to set up. But I was even more impressed with how Rad Power Bikes set up this video on their website that tells you exactly how to install your bike and set it up. I won't give you a whole lot of tips and tricks here because honestly, just watch the video from Rad Power Bikes. I wish more products had the same level of detail in their install videos like Rad Power Bikes. Seriously, just watch it and it'll give you 99.5% of the things that you need to know. But here's a couple little things that I wish that I knew going into it. I have to tell you what, that was like the best instructions of anything I've probably ever put together. One other small thing is taking it out of the box. I would recommend getting some help just because I think I may hurt my back a little bit, but that's all right. I'm doing this in my basement, A, because it's where the lights are, but B, it is 7 degrees outside. It's going to be a low of, it says -0 tonight. So I didn't want the battery and stuff in there, and I wanted to not be so cold out in the garage. So I run the pre-ride checklist and see how it goes. Wish me luck. Oh, one other thing I recommend is doing just like I did. Have an iPad here, have a phone, whatever it is, and just play the video. Do that step, watch again. Play that next step, do that step, do it again. That worked out really, really well. I didn't even look at the instruction manual, and I'm just now going to do it because that's what the video told me to do. So if you have any other questions, let me know. Okay, number two, it takes some time to put this together. It took me about an hour and a half to put together, but I would say I could probably get done in less than an hour if it wasn't me filming and wanting to make sure this was just all correct. But it takes about an hour, I'd say, to put together if you're not filming it. Okay, number three, before you get this bike, invest in a better Allen wrench for yourself. Now, I bought this pair on Amazon, which would have made installing the bike a lot easier. You can install the bike with the tools included with this bike, but I had no idea what a Newton meter was before even getting a Rad Power Bike, but now I know all about it. It's all in the video from Rad Power Bikes. Make sure this is it, set it for Newton meters. I had no idea what that was. And it's an absolute must if you're gonna get add-ons like the rear rack, which I do recommend. So please just get yourself a better Allen wrench that won't strip the screws off. Like you'll save yourself a bunch of headaches for like 10 bucks. Number four, one thing that you don't know about this bike is that it is super fast. Now I clocked 19.5 miles an hour on a recent ride. It doesn't seem like that fast, but when you're on a bike, it's really fast. It's almost like a motorcycle. Now, I have someone coming to check early next week to make sure everything that's installed is perfect because I want to make sure it's all going good. And that brings me to number five, be careful. Now, one reason I'm having a professional bike mechanic come is because I actually fell on this bike the second day that I had it out. And I hit some ice I didn't expect when I was taking a turn. And you feel a little bit invincible when you're on this bike because you can just pedal and go up a hill. I mean, it is so much fun. But since I took that spill, I've heard a weird noise coming from the chain. So I'm going to have them triple check everything just to make sure that it's all good. Now here's a bonus pro tip for you. There are a lot of local bike shops, especially where I live here in Fort Collins these days, that are mobile only, and that is awesome. I personally use a service called Wrench. It's a local bike shop that comes directly to our house. You can make appointments on their website, and I love it. I've had them service some of my old-fashioned bikes before. Okay, so yet another bonus. I was just about ready to hit publish on this video, and the mobile bike mechanic came by actually this afternoon, and the little clinking sound that I heard is actually from me taking that fall, and this is what's called a derailleur guard. It, as the name sounds, guards the derailleur, which is that device right below it. He actually asked me before he saw that it was scuffed up if I wanted to remove it, because it can cause some problems. The clearance just isn't very much in between that and the actual derailleur, and so it just needed to be bent a little bit. It got bent and was too close to the derailleur when I made that fall. So really easy thing to fix. And he says once you get used to the bike, if you want to, you can take off that derailleur guard. It's just those two screws there, and easy as pie. He just took a look at the bike overall and said I did a good job installing it. He just kind of did a standard tune-up on it. And he said the other thing that I didn't do as good as I should have was tightening up the pedals enough. And in the video it says to use a pedal wrench, which I didn't know what it was, to get to 35 Newton meters, which is a lot of force actually. And he said if I went too many miles without getting that tightened up, I could have stripped that socket there. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, especially because it's electric and you can use the throttle to get wherever you need to go if the pedals don't work, but tighten those babies up. 35 Newton meters is a lot, and I could have tightened it up a lot more. But overall, good inspection. He's able to clean it up. Just that one little thing was making the noise, and he just bent it to move it away from the derailleur. So if I can put it together, you can probably put it together. Hope you like that bonus tip. Number 6, you'll start to check out other bikes. Yeah, I'm not joking here. The other day I was at the park, and there was like maybe 5 or 6 bikes there total, and 2 of them were other Rad Power Bikes in the park. Seriously, I was astonished. For the first time ever, you'll start to see other electric bikes on your rides and at the parks and different places you go. I think it's pretty cool. Number 7, you'll start to look for an excuse to take your bike for a spin. Now, for us, our 4-year-old somehow got hooked on Pokemon Go, several years late, I know, but it's been a super fun way to get outside on these really nice days here in Colorado in the spring and explore our surroundings and ride our Rad Power Bikes, go to playgrounds, stretch our feet out a little bit when we have driven for a couple miles, and it's awesome. I promise once you get a Rad Power Bike, you will start to look for an excuse to take your bike for a spin. We even went to get cookies the other day, and we never did that. Number 8, think about what accessories you'll need or want and how you use your bike before you get it. Now this is an odd one, I know, but I've got a couple accessories on my bike right now that I highly recommend. One is an iPhone holder and an iPhone charging cord. Because the Rad Rover is an electric bike, it also has a USB port on the bottom of the screen that allows you to charge your iPhone. When we're playing Pokemon Go for several hours, trust me, you'll need to recharge your phone. So get a short little cord. I'll put a link here on Amazon. It's a couple bucks to keep your phone charged. Number 2, I highly recommend the rear rack with a cheap Amazon bike case. I recommend spending the money on a Rad Power Bike rear rack because it's designed to fit exactly this bike. It's a little bit different size, so get that. Number 3, the lock. I'll put more on this in another video, but I spent a lot of time looking for the right lock. Number 4, I'm going to get a front basket when it's finally available on the Rad Power Bike website. And number 5, this is my favorite, is the UR Rider Kids bike seat. I looked at a ton of different seats for the 4-year-old, and he's on, probably the higher end of what you would want on a seat like this, but it fits on the Rad Power Bike. It's so much fun. He loves to sit on there and explore what's going around us when he's playing Pokemon Go, and I feel really safe with him on there because I don't feel like he can fall. I can feel like he's paying attention. He loves it, and we get so many compliments. Number 9, This is another thing I didn't expect, is check out the Rad Power Bike communities. They've got a great community of supporters and writers on Facebook and on Reddit. And if you have a question about your Rad Power Bike, there's a good chance someone else has had the same question too. So just go check out Reddit or Facebook on their communities for Rad Power Bikes. They're awesome. And also support. Rad Power Bikes has a phone number. You can talk to someone in the United States and they will give you their honest opinion, their honest advice, and it's just incredible. They're super nice. Now coming up, I want you to make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're going to give you a full Rad Power Bike review, and specifically we're going to review the Rad Rover 5 and give you our honest opinion. Is it the right power bike for you? I gotta say, we've had a lot of fun in the couple of weeks that we've had this. I'm glad the weather is nice here. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. Let us know if you have any questions. And we'll be giving you a full review of the Rad Rover 5 very shortly. Thank you for checking this out. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And we hope to see you again real soon.